Good morning, Uncle Leo. I've been learning about MMT, and it honestly sounds ridiculous. My teacher says the government can just spend endlessly, hire anyone who wants a job, and magically fix the economy. Isn't that just like making up points in a game?
Sam, that's a pretty shallow take. The Job Guarantee Program and MMT isn't about endless spending or magic. It's about giving people a chance to work on meaningful projects that actually benefit communities.
Meaningful jobs? If no one's hiring them, it's probably because they don't have useful skills. Let's be real. This just sounds like creating pointless busy work just to keep people occupied.
That's an oversimplification, Sam. Private companies don't hire based on what society needs, they hire for profit. The job guarantee focuses on meeting ignored needs like fixing roads, protecting the environment, or caring for the elderly, as well as giving people a sense of purpose, improving their skills, and keeping them connected to the workforce so they're ready when private sector opportunities return. Are you saying those things do not matter?
Fine. Maybe they matter. And I guess it is important to care for human beings. But if you start hiring all these people, won't that just cause inflation?
It won't cause inflation if it's done right, and MMT addresses that. The program pays a fixed wage, creating a floor for the economy, not driving up wages across the board. If anything, it keeps inflation in check by providing a buffer when private sector jobs dry up. You can't just throw the word inflation around without understanding how it works first.
But isn't the private sector better at finding real jobs for people? Why mess with that?
Seriously, the private sector leaves people behind all the time. The job guarantee doesn't compete, it fills the gaps, which is why it pays a set wage so people still want to work in the private sector when those opportunities open up. It gives people work experience and keeps them employable while tackling projects that private businesses ignore. Look at where we are from Lincoln, California. We could repair all the softball fields or expand elderly care. As you know, the elderly who live in Sun City take up a good amount of the population of Lincoln, California. Who's going to profit from that? No one. That's why it's not getting done.
Okay, but hiring all these people still sounds expensive. Where's all this money coming from?
It's not as massive as you're imagining. Most people want private sector jobs anyways. The job guarantee grows when jobs are scarce and shrinks when the economy recovers. It's not a handout or a bottomless pit. It's more like a safety net. Plus, like any job, you can get laid off if the work ends or if you aren't pulling the necessary weight. For example, during the Great Depression, the US implemented programs that gave millions of people jobs building infrastructure, conserving natural resources, and supporting communities. They don't just hand out cash, they addressed real problems and they left lasting benefits.
I guess it's not just free money, Uncle Leo, but it still feels like a lot to manage.
It's managing problems instead of letting them build, reducing unemployment, boosting communities, and maintaining stability. Now, I think that's worth it.
Last question before I agree that I was looking at it a little too harsh. Does this program force people to work? It seems like a centralized top that dictates everything.
Nobody's forcing anyone to do anything, Sam. Participation is voluntary. And no, it is not some one size fits all bureaucratic mess. It is decentralized. Communities decide what projects are needed, not some government office that's far, far away.
Oh, communities decide? That's different from what I thought.
I get why you may be confused that communities decide. The government funds the money but has no say in what the community decides to do. The job for locals is to propose projects that actually matter, like fixing parks or helping the elderly not feel lonely, and those projects are vetted for real impact. It's about solving problems where they exist, not imposing some cookie cutter solutions.
What if the projects don't actually make a difference or just waste resources? How do we know they'll be useful for the community?
That is a fair question. The program is not about throwing money at random ideas. Communities propose projects, but they're carefully vetted to ensure that they're feasible, impactful, and address real needs. Think of it like applying for a grant. You have to show that the project has clear benefits and outcomes. It's about accountability and making sure that all resources are used effectively.
At first, I thought the job guarantee program was completely crazy when I heard about it. But after this discussion, I'm really starting to understand that it's not so crazy after all.
It is not crazy at all. It is practical, targeted, and focused on helping people and communities thrive. You just need to stop thinking in sound bites and take time to look at the bigger picture.
Thank you, Uncle Leo, for our discussion this morning. I can't wait to go to school tomorrow on Monday and talk to my teacher before class starts and tell her all that I learned tonight. Now let's get back to watching some Fox News. Who knows, they may also talk about MMT.